You are live.
We are live. We'll call the meeting to order. Welcome, Al.
Sorry.
Did you bring a note?
Did you bring a note?
Tardy slip.
Yeah, I have a doctor's note.
Welcome, Al. Okay, we're going to introduce ourselves.
Kim Kondelik.
Different internet. So
Who did what?
So Al knows what's going on.
Yeah, we're going to introduce ourselves, and if we have a position on the board. So I'll start. Kim Kondelik, Vice Chair.
Al Christopherson, board member.
Virgil Bentley, board member.
Steve McCullough, Chairman.
Doug Brecker, board member.
Albert Lewis, Administrative Assistant.
Jesse Swenson, Broward County Commissioner.
Welcome all. Thank you. Is there anything, any comments or anything we'd like to add to the board minutes or the agenda today and that's not on the agenda? Hearing none, we'll move on. Take a look at your minutes, please.
I apologize for not getting them to you quicker.
I move to accept the minutes as written.
I'll second.
We have a motion as to, and a second to accept the minutes as presented. Any discussion? Any further comments or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. We will move on to financial report.
Okay, so if you go to your last sheet, it's your committed funds sheet. Everything has been paid. As of yesterday, from your bank, it states you have $3,563,628.40. And in your county account, you have $317,849.87. And Mr. Hahn has your statement. I did bring your current statement, last statement that I got of your.
Yeah. John's looking that over. If anybody'd like to look that over, that's certainly available. Basically, it's a breakdown of where we invest via First Premier.
Okay.
It's worth a read just from a standpoint of where we're at, why we've done so well, and of course, the market has blessed us. In the past, we've had the market not bless us. We've been without money, so we're in pretty good stead right now. Yeah, $3,880,000. Not too bad. Any discussion on that? Any queries? Hearing none, we'll move on. Election of trust board officers. Do we have any nominations? I would nominate Kim Kondelik as vice chair.
Second.
You want to be it?
Second.
I can elect you. I nominate you. I think you really want to.
Are you nominating Al, Kim?
Huh?
Are you nominating him?
Yeah, let me nominate Al.
Okay.
We did this last time, we had to be official this time, is that right? The
Did
last
it-
meeting?
Did I hear a second?
No. I'll second.
For Al, okay, for Al or Kim? For Al or Kim?
Both.
I seconded Kim's.
Okay, then I'll second for you.
We still lack a chairman.
Oh, I nominate Steve McCullough for chairman.
Oh, I'll second that.
I'd nominate, oh, no. That's it. Any further nominations? Hearing none. All those in favor of,
Discussion.
I guess we're gonna have a paper ballot.
I have so many
I will.
nominations on the floor right now, and also, they're very informal. That's okay. I'll figure out the minutes. Yeah, so we got 2 nominations for vice chair and 1 for chair, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
All those in favor of Steve McCullough as chairman?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. I abstain, motion passed.
Okay. Oh, then this is gonna be fun.
Thank you, even though I had to beg for a nomination. So sad, so sad.
Yeah.
Well,
I
you
should
gotta
have
have to
that
get that
now.
grease
I'm
over
sorry.
here.
That's it, geez, again?
And now we have 2 nominations for vice chair.
Discussion?
Yes.
I think Kim has done an outstanding job, and she ought to continue in that job. She's well versed, she knows what she's doing.
Thanks, Al. I appreciate that. No,
Any further discussion?
I really don't do anything, so.
I compliment Kim Condlick also. There.
Well, that's good, that's it. Al, would you like to decline the nomination?
Can I decline my nomination? Because Kim does such a good job, I don't know.
He'd like to decline with the motion.
I'll withdraw my motion.
Would you withdraw your second?
Yeah, oh, I thought it was looking for a membership then. I was confused.
I
on
was
what
trying to
going
get Al
on.
to take this.
So yes, I thought we were down in Al for a membership.
Oh, no.
That's
no.
what I thought that was.
We did that last
There we go.
I think we've got that cleaned up. Robert's Rules of Order, we'll have to study that one a little bit, but,
Okay, I'll figure it out.
I withdrew my nomination for Al.
That's been noted.
yep.
Okay.
Okay, so we have one nomination for vice chair in the name of Kim Condlick. Any discussion? Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carried unanimously.
Yay.
Yay!
It's a whole page. Yay, good job.
Okay, we're into updates. Corn dog stand.
You're the corn dog, you stand.
Can you
Introduce
say your name,
yourself.
sir?
All right, my name's Joe Condlick. I'm the first vice for the Broadwater County Lions Club. To the Broadwater County Trust Board, on behalf of the Broadwater County Lions Club, we would like to thank the Broadwater County Trust Board for the grant in the amount of $11,550 to bring our previous deep fry cooking system in the corn dog wagon up to the Montana Fire Code. The Lions Club paid $5,050 instead of $49.50 towards the final cost of the auto fry, which ended up being a total of $16,600 as the manufacturer required an extra $100 to deliver it to my house. Below or on the back page is some pictures of the installation and operation of the new auto fry manufactured by Motion Technology. The auto fry is a self-contained deep fat fryer with a built-in Ansel fire protection system. The installation was a bit tough because the guy, Lion Joe Condlick, didn't measure the door of the corn dog wagon before he ordered the machine, and it was 2 inches wider than the door, so I had to open up the side of the Lion Don and I opened up the side of the trailer and to get it put in place in its pedestal, which I made at an ergonomic height. I put Kim's one that's been cooking in there, and I put her in there. All right, where do you want this set? So, because you stand in one spot, do a lot of motions over and over for many hours. So, we installed a vent, which the previous system was lacking on ventilation. You'd come out greasy, multiple eye wash cleanings and stuff, so we put a vent right behind it, which it also has a vent system built into it. Hardly any issues with any fumes or anything inside the trailer, so that really worked out good. The auto fry is programmable. It's all self-contained, so when you set the temperature, it's fixed. Dump the corn dogs in, hit start, After 6 to 7 minutes, depending on whether the corn dogs are froze or not, they automatically dump into the grease, lift out in a basket, drain for a few seconds, and then dump into a deal. So there's no exposure to oil or anything, a lot less chance of burns, fires, or anything. Between the Broadwater County Fair, or the rodeo, and Fall Fest this year, we cooked over 2,000 corn dogs through that thing. In addition to this, Auto Fry will help Broadwater Lions Club continue to sell corn dogs at these kind of community events. In turn, we can continue to make donations that we already do related to recreation within our community and county. All the money from this grant was spent, and we will consider this our final report. Again, we thank the Broadwater County Lice Trust Board for this generous grant. Respectfully, Joe Kondelik, First Vice.
Good job, Joe.
Thank you.
Cool. It's,
Appreciate
well
it, you guys.
spent. Glad it worked.
Yeah, works
Thank you for the
super
report.
sweet.
And thank you guys for all the hard work it took to put that thing together and do it.
I think I had close to 70 hours in the install buildings. Building, tearing apart the trailer, putting in the vans.
And you got a free corn dog and an attaboy.
Yeah. I don't even know if I got the other one.
Well done.
More corn dogs than I wanted to eat. Go ahead.
So a question for you. You cooked over 2,000 corn dogs. Is that a close estimate of how many people you serve because of this new fryer?
No, there was most everybody, the adults would order 2 to 3, some up to 12 corn dogs. So
really?
some guys ate. I don't know how they could possibly do that, but
And other food.
yeah. And we had like rodeo. We sold burgers
Okay.
also outside of it, so we were allowed to get around the state fire marshal
Okay.
having a grill outside.
I'm just curious, because one of the things we added to our application was an estimate of the number of people that your service, so we get a feel for how the grants we give out, how that money is being projected out across, so just curious.
Yeah, it was like rodeo. They were clear across the street for many hours. I have no idea about how many people we fed through that corn dog wagon, but even Fall Fest was insane.
And it was a slow year.
Yeah, it was cold and slow. I think just
On some.
give an estimate, we sold 400 glasses of hot chocolate alone at Fall Fest because it was a cold.
That was my other question. What else do you guys sell in there besides just the corn dogs?
Nachos, we have a nacho cheese machine in there. Chili during Fall Fest, chili and chili corn dogs was something we added a couple years ago or 3 years ago. Chips during rodeo for the burgers and stuff, and water.
When you made the burgers for the rodeo, you don't run them through the auto fry though, do you?
No. We had a separate warmer. We put them into a bath of au jus to keep them moist and hot. And we just cook them in, fire up the grill, cook a whole bunch, fill up the warmer, and
Yeah.
6 to 7 minutes. How many go in a batch?
10.
how many?
10,
10 in a batch.
5 in each side.
5 in each side. We started with 3, but we kept increasing it or whatever, and we found some interesting things with this auto fry being the newer model. It actually had a shaking program that you could add to it and shake every 5 seconds or 10 seconds, whatever you wanted to. And it kept moving the corn dogs in there. At first they were kind of laying on each other and weren't getting cooked good. And this really made a difference.
It's amazing.
Cool.
Nice.
And our steam table that we had in there was it had a water bath in the bottom that you heated, and that kind of didn't leave the corn dogs crispy if they sat in there for an extended amount of time. So there was an old fridge in this corn dog wagon, and I ripped it out and installed a box in there, and we put one of those dry warmers in there, and that keeps the corn dogs fresh and crispy, and everybody loves them a lot better. So that was another 20, 30 hours of fun work. Getting that old fridge out of there wasn't easy. But
So Crystal Balling, did you have the fryer in for your full summer of service?
yes, we did.
Okay, so if we just looked at it and said, well, okay, it's about 2,000, it gives us a feel for how,
I would think easy.
okay.
Easy 2,000, not just for the corn dogs, but for the whole thing.
Yeah, sure, it brings people in.
Probably more.
Okay,
Yeah, I would say 2,000 would be a minimum number.
okay.
Yeah. A lot of kids just come Fall Fest. I don't know how many pounds, bags of nachos and cheese we sold, but
Cool.
yeah, gobs. But
Well done.
anything else?
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you. We appreciate
Thank
it,
you,
though.
Joe.
Thank you.
You bet.
Thank
It
you.
made our world nice.
Okay, 4-H building fairground usage. Jessica.
I'm having Allison come in, also, she can probably answer more of the questions and speak more of like the 4-H use itself, especially during Fair Week, because I don't find myself under the pavilion a ton during Fair Week, I'm usually on the other side of the grounds. But as far as for 2025,
Introduce yourself.
oh, Jessica Erickson, sorry, Broadwater County Fair Manager. As far as our usage for 2025 or the pavilion, it's not a heavily used building, but it definitely, I think, helps with a lot of the events out there. Even people who are out there using or renting other areas of the grounds. I drive by there quite frequently, and I see them under the pavilion as well. We did have for paying rentals this year, we had a wedding. So they actually rented the pavilion and the 4-H building and camped out there. And they had the actual wedding set up underneath the 4-H pavilion. We had a pig camp. Broughton's rented the pavilion and the roping barn, and they have brought in a showmanship kind of clinic pig camp out there last summer, which they're planning on for 2026 as well. And that's a pretty, I would say, statewide reach. They have some pretty loyal buyers and followers that come in for their expertise and knowledge. We also had a family reunion out there last year. They did not rent the pavilion itself, but they did rent electrical from the pavilion because they had campers. And so what we usually charge for rental for the pavilion is $50 a day. But that doesn't include electrical hookups. If they want us to unlock the electrical boxes and hook up, then it's $25 pretty much per hookup. And so we did, I think there was probably 5 or 6 campers that ended up hooking into the pavilion's electricity for that, and it was like a week-long family reunion. It was a pretty big one. And then we host, of course, our 4-H program hosts multiple livestock workshops under there during the summer. It's a nice place where they can be out of the sun, but then they also get some breeze and stuff like that. We do not allow anybody to drive under there, so it's kind of pretty much our only restriction at this point is when people ask about going under there and what they can do, we just tell them they can't drive. We just don't, that dirt, how they have it set up right now, we don't want to mess up anything or get anything rutted or anything like that. And the bleachers stay out there. So I know during a lot of the 4-H workshops, you'll see the kids and the parents are using the bleachers while they're kind of running the workshop underneath the pavilion. So that has been helpful because it's one less thing we have to have the kids carry and store in the commercial building, because we used to store all those bleachers in the commercial building for the winter. And it's pretty tight space in there anymore because all of the fair supplies are in that commercial building for storage. So we've had 2 fairs under the pavilion now. So 2025's fair and 2024's fair was pretty right after it got finished. So everything was new. And I know we've done some upgrades since then. Do you want to talk about fair? I don't attend livestock committee meetings, so I'm not part of the livestock committee. So, and they're kind of more of the ones that use the pavilion and continue to do upgrades on it. So,
Did you have a question for her?
No.
Okay.
No.
Hi, everyone. Allison Costo, Broward County Extension Agent. One community event I thought of as Jessica was talking that I think it's important to mention that that pavilion is used for is the Egg Day that the school kids put on, or like school kids come out for it, and there's a group of teachers that put that on. And so they use that pavilion, and this year I think it was especially grateful to have that because it was a really hot day at the end of May, and the kids were like dying, and so they could go into the pavilion in the shade, and they do usually do some like wrap-up activities under the pavilion using the bleachers. And so it's I think a great addition to that program, in addition to other community activities. But I wanted to mention that one. We absolutely love it for fair. It's been great to be able to move out of the livestock barn where we used to have the show ring because it was getting so crowded with our growing 4-H program. So we now move the show sale ring out under the pavilion. We utilize a temporary alleyway system during shows and during the sale to go from the barn to the pavilion. We open that up during like the rodeo and when there's nothing going on so people can walk through there. Sometimes that creates some challenges. Some people don't like to walk around, but it's kind of the way it goes. And it's great for all weather, and that's what I appreciate about it. So this was like a really cool fair. I was huddled under a blanket and a coat at one point, but it kept us out of the rain, provided a little shelter, which is great. And then on the flip side of that, the year before was 100 degrees, and so we had some shade for our animals and for our spectators. There's always people underneath there on the bleachers, visiting, working on things. We, as in the 4-H program, are continuing to kind of make some upgrades. So one of the final things we added was lights underneath there. And then we are working on a more formal way to recognize the donors for that pavilion, and that's been on our to-do list. So that would include the trust board. We appreciate all your support. So we've had some temporary signage, if you've been out there, that has gone up the last 2 years, which we'll continue to use until we get something a little more formal. I don't know that it can be up there year round, probably depending on what we decide to do, but we have some like ideas in mind. And then Daniel Herringfield, who owns Custom Cabinets, is going to work with our 4-H woodworking kids to hopefully put something together that looks really nice. So working on that. But yeah, thank you for your support. Does anyone have any questions? Yes.
Is there anything we omitted 2 years ago that you wish we had done at the time?
I know at the time there was a lot of talk about the electricity and the lights and all of that. And I appreciate being able to go forward with that, because that is a big thing that we do utilize. Not a lot during the fair, but the big one is the livestock sale. Just our clerking tends to go late into dark. And so when we're able to turn those lights on, that's fantastic to be able to do that. And then also to have that electricity right there has been huge, because we had some big electrical problems. I think overall, I think the plan that we, put together and have executed has worked well. I think another thing we may have to look at some point, but we didn't really know this until we got it up, is, years that it is really hot and being able to maybe have something that could come down the sides and provide shade in some of the places that we need it. But that's been somewhat temporary. We only had one hot fair so far, so we might have to see how that plays out a little bit yet. But yeah, overall, I think it's been a good plan.
One of the things that we had a lot of debate on when we were looking at the design and building that was whether or not there should be a concrete floor on like one end or part of it.
Yeah.
Thoughts on that, or some kind of a portable floor that could be laid out under the whole thing or part of it? Thinking about weddings or things like that where they might appreciate a floor. You guys had any thoughts or discussion on those?
For specifically and Jessica could add to this maybe, but specifically for the fair and 4-H, we like the kind of the sand floor, because it's a little easier for the animals, and we don't have to haul in some sort of flooring for the fair. I will say we had an issue the very first year with a handicapped individual who was trying to get under there, and he ended up, his wheelchair came over on the side because of the unstable surface. So I could see, you know, like a pad, at least for like handicap accessibility would be nice. I can also see for perhaps the public wanting to use that space, that would be of value. We would have to think through how we would manage that on the 4-H side of things. I know that in other places they show on hard surfaces. I know it can be done, but we would have to think through that a little bit if that is ever to come to fruition.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yep.
I think we've heard it before. What was the total investment of what we did out there for the building and all the improvements? Do you happen to know that offhand?
Yes. So it was, the actual building construction itself was around 300,000. So I think the trust board put in 100,000, and then the county commissioners through PILT put in 200. We've done additional upgrades through the 4-H program. We still have some money saved for that. So we've raised about 40,000, if I remember correctly, from the 4-H side of things through various that we're doing the final touches and details on.
Mm-hmm.
So
I would make a correction. I think we did 300,000 on that.
you did 300. Okay.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So 300.
Yeah.
It's been
Just-
so long.
I know, right? Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, just so that's noted.
Thank you.
So is there any kind of advertising that goes on about the fact that that facility is out there for use and rent?
I could that might be more of a Jessica question, so maybe I'll let her answer that.
It is listed on our townsendfairgrounds.com website as a facility available, and any of our rental contracts go out.
Okay.
Yeah. So same as the 4-H building and the arena and the roping barn and everything. And as far as the concrete pad, I guess I'm kind of torn on that. I almost think if you did a concrete pad, I wouldn't split it and not do the entire thing, just so, because then there's a step that will, you know. So what kind of, you know, the showmanship clinic for the pigs, and they have to put the arena and the railings out, and every year the railings, even for fair, for the show rings and stuff are just a little bit different depending on what kind of numbers of animals that they're going to be bringing out. And so that would put a little bit of a hiccup as far as their planning where they're putting their panels. And I don't know if you guys have been out there recently, but in the last couple of years since we've had the pavilion and the tent, they now have like holding pens. So they have holding pens set up on one end so that not all the kids with their animals are coming down the alleyway at the same time they go in. You know, there's one group in the show ring getting judged. The next group is in the first set of holding pens waiting to be out the next time. So they're just constant. So it's bigger, like floor plan. And even on sale day, as soon as the beef show is over, they're rearranging it. There's 20 guys out there with moving panels and getting rid of all the holding pens because they minimize it to a smaller thing for the sale day so we can fit more bleachers and bring them in. And as far as other events, I guess, like weddings and stuff, I would be afraid of anything uneven under there of tripping hazards. If you know, so I think if it would either have to be 100% concrete or 0%. Maybe like a concrete sidewalk of some sort. And now that we do have the pilings out there, this last summer the pilings came out. I don't know if that helped as far as like handicap access for like being able to roll a little easier. And there was we've been able to do a little bit more groundwork, I guess, because the first year we got some rain one day, didn't we, when it was hot, and then everything was kind of flooding inward. And so we've realized that they had to do some groundwork to keep the water from running underneath the pavilion and running out. So it is and this year there was some rainy days, and there's still some areas that get more puddles than others. So I think that part of it is kind of something you don't always know what's going to happen. And then I guess also as the manager who would be in charge of trying to keep everything clean, I would be worried about people barbecuing under there and then getting oil stains on it and grease stains and kids going out there with skateboards or scooters or. And I know our other concrete pad isn't reinforced that for the tent. the entertainment tent, our little one over by the commercial building. It's not like reinforced concrete, so really nobody should be parking campers on there. But it's a nice flat spot, and so a lot of people who bring campers out there are like, ooh, this is a perfect spot for a camper. It's going to be totally flat. So I know Lisa and Chuck usually have to run people off of that a couple times per year because it's not made to drive on. So I think if you build it, they will drive on it.
True.
So when you were talking about, started your list about events out there, you had the wedding, and then you had some kind of an animal weekend, and I missed what
It was like a showmanship clinic for pigs, a pig showman,
okay.
like a 4-H
Yeah.
pigs, and there was the Broughtons, and they advertised statewide. They probably had people from out of state. I don't
Sure.
know, but
Okay, good.
because
Thank you.
they reach a lot of people.
So for now, you're satisfied with the way it is?
I think I am. Nobody gets complained about it. If anybody wants anything more formal and are afraid to get dirty, I don't think the fairgrounds is probably where they're gonna aim for anyways. So I think the sand, the nice flat, and it's packed. I don't know if you guys, it's really packed, so it's not like you're like, and the gophers haven't bothered it. So that's a plus.
Good. Glad it worked out.
Yeah.
Sounds
Yep.
great.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Any other questions? Al?
This is a comment, okay? And for Allison, I want to thank you for that article in the paper about grants and use of grants and stuff. I thought it was a very, very good article, and it's very timely for this community because there's a lot of that kind of stuff being run around. And so I think that was a good start on the grant stuff. So thank you for that. So, sorry, a little side. I wanted to do that.
All right. Any other questions?
Thank
All
you.
right. Yeah. Thank you
Good
guys.
job.
Thank you.
Okay, the next on is the inflation rate and our trust board basis. What are we, at 2.7 now? The base, when via the federal law, the base of the 3 million we received, 2.5 had to remain as our corpus. We got the interest off of that. And for a number of years, the market did not treat us well, so we had no money for several years, and then finally, the market has caught up. We've changed investment brokers. First Premier has treated us very well, and so has the stock market. So we are now sitting on 3.8 million. So what we do as of every year or every 2 years, we adjust the inflation rate, not strictly, but informally we raised it, I believe, to 2.7 million as our corpus base a couple of 3 years ago. That's not cast in stone. We can digress on that, but that's our recommendation, is we don't go below 2.7. The discussion today is, when we're sitting on this much money, should we invest more in our corpus for future? 2.5 million is not near what it was in 2002. So should we raise it to a new number to establish that? So that's the discussion. What do I hear, folks?
Well, I guess my thoughts are still similar to where they were before, and that's that if we don't keep ourselves looking at keeping up with inflation, we're losing ground ultimately with trust account. And yeah, the stuff's in law, but I think at least up to 3 million, we would have that ability to do it. Beyond that, I think we still have it as long as we have funding. What I did not do and do not have in in my head is what's the inflation done the last couple, has it been 2 years ago we did that, or 3 years ago?
I think it's 3.
At least, yeah.
So, I mean, even if we just looked at a 2% a year for the past 3 years, kicking that up, that would be, I don't know what the figure would be. But I think it's something we need, kind of on my mind, that's the due diligence of managing a public trust. And I know that the Canyon Ferry Trust, whether they formally adjusted that or just taking money they didn't spend, but their trust has grown substantially. And so I think it behooves us as a manager, or the board entrusted with helping manage this account, that we look at that, so if things did fall out, we would still have a level of funding that continues to work into the future. So that's just my thought.
Well, following on Al's advice on that, or comments on that, I fully agree on it from the standpoint, if we raised it to any arbitrary number, and let's say the market did collapse again, that may be the cushion money we have to still support recreation in the meantime, down to our, heaven forbid, let's say it's 2.5. But so it would give us cushion. So it's not hard and fast. As long as that's understood, we do have future flexibility if that works. And Al, it doesn't, we don't have to follow a strict regime of 2% a year. If we arbitrarily decide it's, 2,850,000 or whatever.
Is our current floor, is it 2.75 or is it 2.7?
I think it's 2.7, but
I was thinking it was 275, but we'd have
Well,
to
the
go back to
minutes-
the look.
In the minutes last time, it was 2.75. I was wondering.
Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah,
it says 2.7 million here,
Yeah, in the minutes, it says 2.75,
minutes.
so.
possible
Yeah, it
per
says
corpus
2.75,
increase
yeah.
above the current floor, 2.7 million.
2.75.
Mhm.
We'd have to verify that number, I guess,
Let's-
that's where to go.
I think the sentiment is to raise it, so let's not even worry about
Yeah.
that.
What
Let's,
it is currently.
what do you guys, what's your pleasure?
I think 3 million would be fine, since we have that money right now. I think that would be a good jump for right now, and leave it until we discuss it again. That's my thought.
Any other comments on that?
I think that's the good level. That actually takes it back to the original full obligation of the law of 3 million, so it gets us back there. And I think you're right. At least it sets a level for us to manage off of. If things got tough and it all went away, then we know we still have some cushion there, and we could always, deal with that. But right now we're looking at expendable funds of about almost three quarters of a million, or over, almost $800,000. So I think to use some of that to change the floor would be appropriate for us to do that. It's a time when you can, things are still moving, and we're not taking it out of the trust, so it continues to work. So that's, to me, that's different than if we were saying we would take it out and put it in our county account, which we got, 300 and something in that one. I'm fine. I think 3 million is a good level to work with.
Anybody want to put that in the form of a motion?
Yeah, I move to put the floor at 3 million on the trust.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to move the corpus up to $3 million. Any further discussion? I think we've discussed it at length. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Cool.
Al, I omitted you on the BCDC trails, excuse me.
Oh, okay. So the Trails Committee that is a function of BCDC has completed the Trails Plan that's been given to the BCD Board, and they've accepted it as the plan. There's still some things to do with it, get it around to all the nonprofits and stuff, and how we do that is, I think, a discussion that the BCDC will have. So we can get, one of the things in talking to some of the grant providers is, do you have a master plan or a big plan that, you know, any trail is a segment of? And I've been able to tell them, yeah, darn right, we got a plan that's got it all in there. And then the second question is, do you have the support of the community or the organizations? And I think that's a thing that we'll have to do as part of the Trail Committee with BCDC, is to go get that. So, you know, the city, the county, other nonprofits around that have an interest in trails, we probably need to get to them, whether we do it individually or whether we have a big come together and make one big presentation with a bunch of people there and get them then to do that. I think that's a discussion, but that's kind of where that's at. John, do you want to talk about what BCDC is headed with?
Al, is the bicycle trails and this sort of thing in South County involved in your trail?
The Wheatland country?
Say again?
The Wheatland, is that what you're talking about?
Copper City.
Oh, Copper City. Yeah, Copper City it's acknowledged in the plan that that's an established trail system. There are a couple of discussions in the plan about how people can connect to that through a trail system that is yet to be developed, obviously long-term. But yeah, it acknowledges that, it acknowledges the people that manage it, and there's actually a copy of their map in the master, in the vision plan. Yeah.
John Hahn, BCDC. So Al always gets me into these things. I want to first say that Al has been very instrumental in getting this plan done. He's been our spark plug and put many hours into this program and done some good work on getting it. And it's now called the Trails Vision Plan. Originally we were going to call it the Master Plan, but Vision Plan seemed to fit a little better for us. So, and BCDC has decided to be the head organization for this plan here. We'll run any funds through BCDC since we're a 501c3 nonprofit. And right now we're looking at starting to get grants. We have one grant that's a Trails
Stewardship. Trail Stewardship Program.
Stewardship Program. Couldn't think of the name.
Yeah.
So it's due in the end of January here, and we've decided to hire a grant writer to help write that grant, and hopefully they'll be involved in some of the other ones. It's actually an engineering firm, Interstate Engineering. So we are moving ahead with the programs. We have other trails that we'd like to work on. It's going to take a little while to get them implemented. The one from Harrison Street out to the fairgrounds is recommended through the fairgrounds master plan and also through Parks and Rec, and we think that's going to be a really good project. It's the main line for pipeline for the new water line is water tank out there is been implemented, or it's been installed, and it has left a pretty good area there that we can put a trail on, we hope. There was some issues with it in the beginning. I thought the permitting wasn't right, but we've moved past that, and we've found out we can still put a trail in there. So this, we're hoping to implement the interstate engineering maybe in on that too. I don't know. County uses Great West, I believe. So we may get a bid from them, and I don't know, maybe WWC to see. But interstate engineering, they're out of Helena. They're over a 5-state area. They seem to be pretty interested in helping with this and gathering up different kinds of funding, helping with funding situations. So I think it might be a good marriage that way. But we are looking for a lot of support. The more support we have, the easier it's going to be to get funding, I believe. And we are looking at different things, like right now with the trail stewardship plan. And maybe I should ask, that asphalt trail that goes along the highway out there over to the Indian Road campgrounds. Anybody know when that was put in?
Oh, probably 25 years ago now. I mean, it's been a while.
Yeah.
That was C-TIP money. That was the city and the county. There was a percentage of any highway projects that went through your county. You got a little token amount of money back. And it got up to where it was, I think the county portion was 80-some thousand. So we gave ours to the city. They took theirs, which wasn't as big. And then that prompted that trail.
So it's been 25 years, so it's definitely due for maintenance. And so
Yeah.
this is what this grant is hopefully going to do.
Excellent.
And so we'll be looking at that. And there's just a lot of other trails and stuff too that Al's probably filled you in on before that we would like to do. One of our priorities was putting a bridge, pedestrian bridge on the bridge across the river there, but MDT doesn't want to do that. So they said, well, you can build your own bridge, which is, $7-10 million. So, pocket change, I guess. So I don't think that's going to happen right away. Well, we'd like to see if you guys would be supportive of our program, and also if we may need, I don't know if you can provide matching funds. BCDC has we're close to $80,000, and we had received over $36,000 from TRAC when they dissolved, and that was to go towards recreation, so we can use some of that money for some matching funds if we need to, or grant writers, or any help you guys could provide if Al comes up with a program or a need, I guess, and or BCDC, any of the members and stuff, maybe we can work together on some of that.
We certainly have to look at, each individual case, but I think it fits our criteria perfectly.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and Parks and Rec, they definitely have some members that are helping with us, The money comes through the county there, so we'll have to depend on you guys for some support, for sure. But in the county, Debbie Randolph has been there quite a bit. I think Lindsay's probably in line with this. The city is coming along now, too. I think some of the projects are in more sidewalks in the city here, and we think there's some pretty good funds out there to do that. So I think things are moving along pretty well, and I don't know, Al's probably got some more stuff there he can talk about, but I appreciate any support. So.
You got any questions of John on that?
Okay, thank you.
John.
Thanks, John. Yeah, so just to tail on to some things, one of the things after getting a plan written, in this case the vision document, the immediate response of people is, okay, so you spent almost 3 years writing this plan, you know, you're actually gonna do anything or what? And so there's a lot of interest in getting a couple of things under the success side column checked off. So the maintenance of the asphalt trail fits the stewardship grant program that Fish, Wildlife, and Parks oversees. And so we have until the end of January to get that in. So John has arranged a walkthrough with a couple of contractor engineer people tomorrow sometime. What is it? 1 o'clock? Okay. To go look at this trail, we'll probably take them over to Centerville Park and talk about the inlay of that internal trail there, and then the trail to the fairgrounds. Those seem to be ones that, the one to the fairgrounds is a longer term one. It's probably gonna have to go through like their transportation alternatives program, but there's money there to build that trail if we can get all the paperwork together. And it may take a couple years, you know, those things are highly competitive, and a lot of times the first year through you get all the feedback about what you didn't do right or have right. But on the other hand, at least the firm that John's been talking to, and I'm sure Great West is the same way, and we need to talk to them, they've got experience in building those things, and so they know how to put them together. And if you don't do that, you probably have pretty close to zero chance of making it. So there has to be an investment that has to be up front to get those engineer firms online. The one thing I did run across the other day that nobody has brought up in 3 years is the community block grant program. And talking to the grant gal the other day, she said, well, you can get a lot of your upfront planning all done through that community block grant. And she checked, the county does not have an open grant and the city does not have an open grant. So we're hoping to approach them and see about getting them to put in for a block grant that can pick up some of this, I would say, short-term trail opportunities. So like the fairgrounds, maybe even the Centerville Road down to the park, because the Park and Rec Board wants to get that internal trail done. So there's just a lot of moving pieces that we got to kind of start to cement. But the first one is the asphalt trail. We get that thing maintained, it goes into plus column check. The other one is literally ready, and I think we'll have a Fish, Wildlife, and Parks person at our trails meeting this Thursday night to try and seal up the river trail from Toston Dam to down here. What's interesting is that in the meantime of all this discussion going on, Fish, Wildlife, and Parks has now decided that they own 2 acres over here, right next to the BOR's site. It doesn't show up on any maps. And I asked them why, and they said they don't know. They can't get the cadastral people to put it in there. But they own 2 acres, and their proposal is to build a new boat ramp into the river at that site. So it'll come off down there about where the information sites are and the day use site, and come down, and it'll feed into a new boat ramp there. And I know, talking to them, the feedback they've had is they have way underestimated the parking. They said in the design they provided 8 parking spots. And I said, there's a couple things that are going to happen, and that one is that you're going to fill up the day use area with rigs, because they'll come and use the ramp, and if the parking's full, they're just going to start parking along the road, and they'll be in there. Because as soon as especially the fishermen, with that site right here at the edge of town, it's going to fill up. So we've been pushing them real hard to expand to what they said. They had 2 alternate additional areas for parking. He said, just do it. It's going to be, you're going to be surprised. The other part is in talking to the Fish, Wildlife, and Parks on the Stewardship Trail Program about why it's important to get this trail maintained. And the maintenance is get in there and get all those cracks that have filled up with grass. So you get the bumping, you know. It's a safety issue. And then to reseal that asphalt all the way. tie that with the fact that Fish, Wildlife and Parks now has got a proposal on the table to fund, like this year, to build a new boat ramp and a parking area. I can tell you that if people that like to play in the river are gonna know exactly where that place is, and it's gonna fill up. So he said, well, that's a great thing to know for your stewardship thing. It's like, yeah, the trail leads to a use, you're out, you're doing stuff, so it just starts to package all together. And so it's pretty exciting. There's gonna be stuff happen. I thank BCDC for stepping out and saying, okay, you know, we don't see anything else, so right now we'll take the lead on helping manage and collecting money and stuff. And so I think, you know, one of the big things is going to be starting to go after a fundraising program for trails and see if we can keep that going. BCDC had Gene Townsend over last month, December, I think it was, to talk about how they did and started with the trail system in Three Forks. And so everybody got to hear that, and I think it's just, so I think the important thing is that I think the trust board's gonna see some proposals coming, and so.
Win-win.
Yeah, yeah, it's something, I think the county and the city, and I hope the city comes along in this thing, are really gonna benefit from. You start building this and it just, you know, you listen to Gene talk, you know, he started out with a little trail and now they got 30 miles of trail down there, or something like that, I don't remember what it is. And so it's exciting, and so I thought it was time that we just update you guys. Two of the people on the Park and Recs board are also on the Trails Committee, and I have gone to those meetings to try and maintain, certainly in the back of my head, the things that we do here on this board ties in with the Park and Recs board and ties in with the whole trail program now, I think. So it's pretty exciting and it's cool. So thank you for the time.
Excellent, excellent. You know, the hours and years that have been involved in that, and especially with your efforts, without your spearheading this, you've been a blessing to that board, so it's in our board, so
Amen.
thank you. Keep in mind, like the silos area that we established in 2002, and I have letters, or had letters, in 1957 and up through the 60s, of doing exactly what we had in mind.
Yeah.
You know, gosh, Bud Neifert, John Jepson, all of the old city fathers and county leaders at that time had said, hey, we've got a swamp here, let's excavate it, have a safe bay. Nobody could put it together until all the stars aligned, and we got it done in 2002. So it's patience is a virtue if you can be patient enough.
And the interesting part of all that is that the Canyon Ferry management plan that was put together in 2003, I think is the date on it, acknowledges that the BOR needs to help establish a trail to Indian Road Campground. Doesn't say what that route is, it just says they need it. And so we've made sure in the trail plan that we have that route in the plan. There's a route, whether it's the right one or not, I don't know, but there's a route, and it's there because the BOR's plan says that they need to help build that trail. And as well as the internal trails for the silos. And then around there's an additional proposal in the trails plan to go around the lake with a hiking, biking trail. So, I mean, some of those are pretty long-term, big vision things, but if you don't put them down, you don't have them to refer to, and nobody pays attention. So if I can talk about the silos a second?
Certainly.
So I did get a message in late December that the grant that the BOR put in for back in September for getting into and starting the reconstruction of the silos, that was supposed to be out in December, obviously with the government shutdown for a month. and the impacts that has for probably another month before and after, that they're hoping they're gonna hear in January. So we're kind of looking forward to that. We know the size of the grant they put in for. I also do know, and I saw something the other day, that Congress has passed the, I guess, next 4 or 6 year version of that same program. It's the historic antiquities and deferred maintenance program that Congress just put money into. So that's it's been extended, so there might be future opportunities for it. But that one, we're kind of waiting to see, because there's a bunch of other things will start to happen if they get that funding. And so we're all hopeful that's going to happen.
You bet, sounds good.
Yeah. The other thing about the FWP grant for this trail is he told me yesterday, he said that one of their new focus areas with their grant program is deferred maintenance. So I was explaining the trail out here, and he said that is a perfect match. So we're pretty optimistic that we're going to be able to get something and get something done. So that seems to be kind of coming together. Thank
You know,
you.
when we put that hike and bike trail out to the Indian Creek that many years ago, we never dreamed the usage it would get.
Oh, yeah.
And I think the same idea from here to the fairgrounds, it's going to be magic.
Yeah.
So,
I agree, 100% there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Then we get I think the other vision is Harrison up Canton and then up Centerville. So we tie into those 2 county parks.
gives you a perfect route.
Yeah,
Perfect. Yeah,
perfect.
it makes a nice loop. They're sitting there doing all this stuff, and one of the things is, fundraising. It's like, we could have our own marathon, half marathon out here on our own trails.
5K, 10K,
Yeah. it's
1K,
just-
yeah.
Why don't we? Well, it's volunteers. Anyway, thank you.
You bet.
Thank
Well
you.
done, Al. Thank you. On the silos, Jesse, the trust board still owns the boat slips, the boat docks, all of that stuff. When we initially turned it back, turned the lease back, I think the county was going to lease it to the current leasee for a year, and then they would discuss. I guess they've continued to lease it. Is maintenance in your agreement with them? I guess my concern is it was in really, really good shape because we had invested quite a bit of money just before we turned it back, before the county turned the lease back to the grounds. I would hate to see them having degraded that equipment because they don't own it.
I have to double check. I haven't seen the actual lease, but I believe so. And just from my understanding, I think it was Commissioner Randolph was the one kind of in contact with the leasee out there.
Yeah.
They've been trying to complete the purchase for the last few years, couple years anyways, and the BOR they're trying to get all the stars to align with BOR, and every year there's something else. So they've continued to extend the lease.
Okay. 1 year at a time.
1 year at a time type of a thing but they do still want to purchase it.
Okay.
Is my knowledge. But I will double check on the maintenance, but I believe it is
Okay.
put into that contract.
Yeah.
I will double check on that though.
Mr. Chairman. I know a year ago, they put, the operator out there, put, I don't know how many truckloads of new floats under those slips. So they were all, well, I can't say all, but they, if they were showing that they were being waterlogged, they replaced them here. I think it was, maybe it was 2 summers ago or 2 winters ago.
excellent. Right.
So they've been done. The other was, 2 or 3 years ago, there was a boat broke loose in a windstorm and crashed into the end of the docks. And there was some kind of insurance settlement on that. However, the adjuster that came and did that didn't understand docks and how they're intertied. And so there was a lot more damage than was paid for. And they paid for fixing those things back up.
Oh, excellent.
So
The insurance company did or Esther did?
Esther did.
Oh,
I mean, there was, I assume the county must have got the money, maybe it went to Esther to use. I don't
That
know
was,
how it
I
was.
think, before I was here, so I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
And so, all I know, just from being around talking, is that what was paid for didn't acknowledge that when you ram a boat into one end of a dock that's connected to 15 slips all the way through, there could be damage down. They just dealt with the damage on the end, and there was a lot of, so they had to bring welders in to re-weld a bunch of the seams and stuff out there, but they are maintaining that.
Oh,
And
good.
they're in as good a shape, well, I can't say that, but, I mean, there's a lot of maintenance money. In fact, we gave Esther some money
We did.
to help with the floats and all that stuff, so yeah, they're being maintained.
Good. Glad to hear that. That's-
And as far as I know, right now, they're free floating. There's no ice.
Yeah.
Ice is-
What?
We had about 3 inches of ice on the upper end of the lake, and then with the warm wind and that wind hit the other day, and it's gone. So, yeah.
You know, we have new business. You know, I'm wondering, how do we get to the public and let them know we're available? That's, it's I'm amazed how often I talk to people and think, if you come up with a recreational idea, we'd like to help. And people,
they don't even know what the trust board is.
no, is there any way, and I'm pointing at Aubrey as I'm saying this, but is there any way we can do it?
I'm hiding.
You know, you
Will you
could
do
do that
art?
flippy sign on the head of Maine, you know?
That weird outfit. Yeah, did we run an article in the newspaper? We did that. Al, you helped me with the newspaper article, didn't we, a couple of years ago? or
We
last
did,
year?
yeah.
Do we need to maybe run that again, or maybe a shorter one? I don't think we need to go through the whole explanation, but we could let
Well, I
us
think
know.
I think it's appropriate for us to do an annual,
Yes.
accomplishment report.
I think it's a
Whether-
really good idea.
That,
yeah.
I mean, that's a good start. I know that the Park and Recs Board is looking at trying to write a kind of a, whenever they have something, to write an article, to get it in the newspaper that is out there, so.
Well, the county wants that too.
Yeah.
The county wants something from our boards anyway, so
Yeah.
can you work
'Cause
with me on that?
We have a article reserved kind of for the newspaper every week. So if you ever have one that when you want to get out, let us know.
Okay,
I think
nice.
so. So can you help me with that, Al? Or somebody help me
Yeah.
with that? I don't know, I can send it out to all of you. I can just take our last one and kind of,
Al's pretty good at that media stuff.
he pointed to you
Yeah.
actually, so.
Yeah, since you're not the vice chair, you know.
If you were vice chair, I'll be here.
Yeah.
Let me get something
Missed my chance.
up and then I'll send it to all of
Here's
you
your
and you can
chance.
put your.
If you could put
comments in.
pictures in, I mean,
It
you know,
was just
even the corn dog wagon.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
And
we can
And
get
the
some
picture
pictures.
of the ball fields and the tennis courts.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna say they've always encouraged us to include pictures.
Yeah,
they don't really
them
have
tennis
pictures.
courts look nice.
Okay, can I
In
get your
color.
pictures? Can you send them to me electronically, your pictures? Sweet. Okay, I'll do that. Yep, okay.
They want it. The articles are normally between like 500 and 700 words. So if you want to, I mean, if you could split them up, do one of. I mean, they're however you want to do it. If you kind of are running into too long of an article, you could split it up into 2 or multiple, 3, however many. We can reserve some for one a month or whatever. So
You know, you could do one a month and a project a month, or a couple projects a month, so that,
Yeah.
Okay.
we
We
just,
just have that Broadway Community Connections newsletter coming out too.
Oh, yeah.
On the 10th, and it goes out to quite a few people.
Yeah.
If you want to put an article in there, that'd be great.
I'll have to get your, you have your email down there, John? Do I use your email here? Do I send it to
You can
you?
just put it bcdc@mt.net. Send it to that. And I'd like pictures and stuff too.
great idea. Thank you,
Cool. Yeah,
Al.
good bringing that up. That's good.
Yeah, really.
Anything else?
Just your grant, sorry, Doug, just your grant that I gave you. Mark said he would come and talk at the next meeting. This is, unfortunately, he has the old one without the sentence about your usage, so I'll get with him and say, make sure you tell us what the far-reaching usage is gonna be for this. I do have it fixed now. It took me a little bit to figure out how to get that uploaded to your Bluehost website, but it's fixed now. That sentence that we added about usage. So, and I'll send you one electronically soon.
Go ahead.
Just following up on something Kimmy brought up last meeting, and it was on the public access for the pickleball courts.
Tennis courts.
The tennis courts, yeah. The people that had that, I don't know if that ever got resolved. I don't think, there's no place, how do we do that? It's supposed to be public stuff there, so that's just one thing that I've went by. There's some people out there, well, I'm glad they're there, that's what it's for.
Yeah.
How did you get there?
And it seemed a little encumbering to try to
The
get a
sheriff's
key
office
from
wouldn't.
somebody, yeah, and the sheriff's office wasn't happy about having to police the keys and.
Yeah, they're the logical one, they're 24/7, 365, but
Yeah, I don't know why.
I
they
don't know what
wouldn't
the
do that.
answer is, but
The deal is they're not paroling it 24/7, they're only issuing a key.
Yeah.
The simple thing, give me your ID, we give you a key, you bring the key back, we give you your ID back.
Is it a key or a code?
It's a combination.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
combination lock. Okay, that's what I thought.
Okay.
But it don't have a key to that combination lock? It should.
I just know I have.
You know, that's a really good comment. It doesn't pertain to the trust board. It pertains to recreation and access to that, but it really, we're a funding mechanism.
right, but part of our funding was to make it open to the public, it's for public
Accessible.
usage.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that's, and we've queried the question,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
yeah, but
Is that a Parks and Rec or a city? Jesse? I don't know.
One of them. I mean, yeah. I don't know.
It's tricky.
It is.
Aubrey, would it be as simple as if you could just give them a note that would, to Parks and Rec?
Sure.
Saying, we've had some interest on better accessibility to the tennis courts, and how is that coming, and the people who want to use that, what should we tell them, I guess, something of that nature. At least keep it alive.
It's how does pickleball for them in the summer? They're there every
Hey,
week. They just
they're there all the
somebody
time,
that's
yeah.
in charge must have the code.
I guess.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good.
Nothing horrendous, just a follow-up. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
You bet. No, I like it. That's,
Then you can bring it up to the city council, because they basically own that park.
It's kind of
Originally, it was, when those tennis courts were put in, it was a combination of the school and the city that put those in.
Mhm.
And the city has some.
funding mechanisms worked a lot better if the schools were involved, because they had so much more money. And that's, you know, if you think back, the city county library was within the basement of the courthouse.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you know, and we had to share a book. You know, that's-
Read that was down there.
But then when we went with the city county school library, we built the complex, and with very limited contributions from the city and the county, so it worked out very well.
Good.
Okay, are we down to anything else? Or are we down to the next meeting?
Before you, in the money we invested in that grant, or the management of the fairground, in one of our meetings, they were talking about some items like repairs on the stadium benches and this sort of thing. Have they made any contact on, there were several projects they wanted, and we haven't heard from them in the bottom, and that was part of the plan, I think, when we had it done some years ago.
Oh, gosh, we got a report last month, and I know it was the, I'm gonna say the senior area and the loudspeakers,
VIP
Did-
bleachers,
I'm sorry,
VIP bleachers.
the VIP area.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were talking the general grandstands at all. I don't think at that period of time, so, but they were here, we had the discussion, and they have our ear, but we haven't seen anything.
Okay.
Yeah. Rodeo's becoming a big deal. They're getting more and more popular, so that kind of ebbed and flowed, now it's back, so it's good to see. Okay, next meeting, take a look at your charts.
Oh, thank you.
Tentative schedule is February 10th. How does that work for everyone?
Works for me.
Works for me.
The lake's still gonna be froze up, Doug, does that work for you?
The Columbia is not gonna be froze.
Columbia, I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's right next to Venezuela.
I'm not going there. Okay, well, let's plan on retaining February 10th as our meeting. Excellent, we've covered a lot of stuff today. This is gonna be an interesting grant, the new grant application we have.
Yeah.
We'll study that at length, get public input.
That new grant?
It is. Did you get one?
No.
Yes.
Oh, I just didn't see it.
This is why you have to sit.
Oh, there, okay.
I have to keep you straight there.
Yeah, I need all the help I can get.
I wouldn't have skipped you.
That's why I have Aubrey to keep us in line.
It's a teacher.
Yeah, that's right.
My knuckles will still sore. Okay, I guess we digressed enough. Meeting's adjourned.
Okay.
And what a good one it was.
Ah, yes.
So
Good
Jesse,
job, guys.